What's up, everybody? Trad West Podcast back here with another reaction video from the Whatever Podcast. So, this is actually one of my kind of favorite segments, although the answers are always cringe because I just can't grasp why women have such a hard time rating themselves 1 to 10 for looks. Rate your looks on a. They always ask this question to the panels. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, looks only. And they're almost all delusional. And I don't get what it is with women. Most of them, there's a few that can understand, but most men seem like to have no issue with this and rate themselves more realistically. And women almost all rate themselves 10. 10 out of 10. I don't get what it is with women's brains. A 5 is just average. It doesn't mean you're ugly or hideous. Literal average means that's what most people are. 10 is perfection. You have no room to improve. No one's better looking than you. So I'm going to play this one. I haven't watched this whole clip. I just picked one. Because usually when they do this, there'll be obese women on the panel. And they'll still say an 8 to a 10. And it just shocks me. And they all act like it's just confidence. You got to be confident. No, that's delusion. Confident, and I guarantee every girl that says they're a 10 also says all their exes are narcissists. It's freaking ridiculous. So let's go ahead and play this.
Ask the ladies to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10. Kiana, why don't we start with you?
On a 1 to 10?
Looks.
Looks-wise?
Yeah, looks.
I feel like I'm a 10.
Okay. What about you?
Same. I mean, on a good day, all the time.
Okay. Ginny?
I think I'm a 6, but working with my way up.
Okay. Chen?
10.
10? Okay.
10. You gotta say 10.
I will say 8, but some days I will say solid 10.
Yeah.
Some days.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say most of the time I feel that I am a 10, but I have my bad days too, and I'll feel like a 2.
Okay. Okay. Paisley?
8.
8. Okay, so 10, 10, right? 10, 10, 6, 10, 10.
A room full of dimes.
All right, let's talk about it. Okay, so all of you are 10s. Well, no, okay. You said 6, right? Paisley,
I said 6, and I'm working my way up.
working your way up. Paisley, you said 8. Okay, so the rest of you are 10s. Is that your own self-assessment?
Everyone has a type. I think everyone has a type,
Mhm.
but we're all 10s to someone.
Wrong.
True that.
And then you honestly said looks. You didn't
Yeah, I
specify.
did. Yeah.
Didn't specify what?
Say look.
Like there's a whole range. You can go
Of
based
what?
off personality or like self-conscious. Like there's just different things.
Well, I'm
So-
not convinced if I included personality or any of that other stuff that you guys would have changed your rating.
Go to a 9.
I mean, Ginny, what would you, if we factored in your personality, what would you rate yourself?
Probably like a 7 or 8. I feel like.
Paisley?
I'm gonna stick with an 8.
Okay. All right. Okay, so
Yeah, saying, well, it's looks only. Yeah, that makes it even worse that you rated yourself a 10. I would you're still not a 10 probably, even if we included everything. But I would venture to say most people, if you honestly rate yourself, I would say, if I was rating myself 5 or 6, just off looks, and then you could go to personality. I would think personality and other things could boost you. These girls are already saying they're 10 out of 10, flawless, perfect. And then they're like, well, you didn't say personality in that. What is your personality, just fucking horrible? So now you're a 5? I mean, I guess that could be. Because the type of person that says they're a 10 out of 10, that's like the most narcissist thing you could do. And women love to claim men are narcissists. Men seem more humble when it comes to rating themselves look-wise.
We got some uggos
Don't-
in the chat.
Don't
Hey,
don't read the chat, guys, because they're.
I
probably
don't
gonna
care.
listen.
I'm used to it.
So, those of you who rated yourself a 10, don't you think that's a bit of hubris to rate yourself a 10?
Mm-mm.
Excessive pride.
I feel like that's really good for yourself.
I feel like you have to tell yourself you're a 10.
Because if you tell yourself you're ugly all the time, you're gonna feel ugly. You're
Why
gonna
would I
come
give
off
myself
ugly.
up?
No one's gonna like that. So if you think you're a 10 and you act like a 10 and you look like a 10,
Amen.
then I mean,
But okay, for example, like, so let's say you rated yourself a 7. That's above average.
Mhm.
So, and you can still be attractive at 7, but you can also acknowledge, like, hey, I'm not.
I didn't say I was the prettiest girl in the world, but I'm
Well,
definitely a 10.
But by putting yourself at a 10, that kind of does say that you might not be the prettiest, but like maybe there's another 10 that edges you out a little bit. But like,
Why we gotta edge each other out? We can't stand on the same line.
but okay, we can all agree that
Mm.
there are differences in terms of physical attractiveness. For example, can you look at one man versus another man and say that man is exceptionally physically attractive and that other man over there is, say, average, for example? Can we say
Agreed.
that? Are they both 10s?
No.
Maybe they're
To
thinking
us, maybe
To
not. Is he
themselves,
funny?
they're
No.
Yeah.
Just looks. But I guess the question is, so if you're a 10, then that would suggest to me that there are no women who are more attractive than you. There might be women who are as attractive as you, who are also 10s, but none are more attractive than you.
But I am my own person. There's
Why
not
you
going
gotta
to be
be
somebody
worried
else
about
like me, though. So
But okay,
why can't I be comfortable in my 10?
I guess I could ask the question, like, what do you think other people would rate you as?
Should I care?
Does your perhaps?
Should I care?
But does your answer? Do you think your answer?
This is a dating podcast. Yes, you should care. Like, you shouldn't let it ruin your day. But you, in the dating world, you need to be able to attract. If you want a partner, you want to get married, you want a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, you have to care what other people think you look like, or what they would. Maybe you're not. Oh, what am I rated? But same kind of thing. You kind of have to care what people think to a certain degree, because you're trying to attract a partner in the dating world. So yes, you should care a little bit.
Answer would change if I asked you, what do you think if you got 100 men and 100 women who were brutally honest, who had no incentive or any reason to elevate or lower you? Do you think it would be consistent with your self-evaluation of being a 10? Kiana. Actually, start here. Go ahead.
I feel like it's a good 50-50 chance.
50-50
what?
chance. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you guys? You two over here. Would it change?
I don't even know what your question was.
So if you had, well, I don't really have to ask it, but I'm trying to get to the crux of the conversation here. So
You said if 100 people rated you, would you still be your same number? Right?
Yes.
Is
Yeah,
that what
because
you
that's
said?
my own opinion
Yeah,
of myself.
everybody's
Would-
different.
No,
you-
would they rate you the same number?
Oh,
Not your
actually
same.
not. They probably
Yeah.
do too.
Everybody's different.
Okay with me.
Bro, you can't make this shit up. She rated herself a 10, and when asked, well, would other people rate you that? She said, probably not. They'd probably rate me a 2. Make that make sense. You think other people would rate you a 2, but you're a 10. This is the problem with, like, women rate themselves and just everything in life based on how they feel. I don't get why that's that hard. Like, most men can just look in the mirror. Yeah, I'm an average. Like, I'm not ugly, but I'm not like supermodel. There's definitely other dudes that are more attractive than me. That's not hard to do. That's not me, like, being down on myself. You can still be confident and be a 5, because 5 is average.
In the chat, as we can tell, some people are like, "Oh my god, yeah."
You asked us to rate ourselves, so
Based on looks, yeah.
Yeah, you
Based
just say
on
we
our
rate ourselves.
Yeah. Am I rating them from a hater's perspective or like a regular person?
But but if you think that you're a 10, for example, a 10 in looks, then it's possible that you might, perhaps you might be right. Perhaps, and I'm not pointing this statement at any specific one of you. Perhaps you might be right, but perhaps you might be wrong.
Mhm.
You might have an unreasonable self-assessment of where you stand on the dating marketplace and the sexual marketplace and the relationship marketplace. So
That right there. That is why the rating thing makes sense and why it is somewhat important here. And this is why a lot of dudes be single and incels. Because you have women out here who think they're flawless 10 out of 10s. And that's I know my worth. I'm not settling for that average dude. Yeah. They're average. And then you take the makeup off, and most of them are probably 5s at best. Because most of these girls that are on here, they're not your natural beauties without makeup. They got the makeup caked on. Now, there's a couple attractive, but I'm a little more, I think, strict when it comes to the 1 through 10, too. Like, no one's a 10 because you're saying 10s are flawless, 10's perfection. If you think you're perfect, you're an idiot. But I would still say, like, the 8 to 10 range is like supermodel, best looking celebrities you can think of. That's the 8 to 10 range. So most regular people, even if they're like really attractive, probably still like 6 or 7s. But somehow all these panels always end up saying, no, we're all 10s. Like even 8 is a bit high. It's a little more understandable because sometimes they tell them you can't use 7 because 7 is kind of the cop-out number. Middle of the road, like where you're attractive, like really attractive, but not saying you're being a little humble. But that's why it's important. Like this is a dating podcast. In the dating marketplace, you're trying to meet other people. You need to have a realistic valuation on what you bring and who is really like, who should be your match that you're going for. Well, there's a bunch of average dudes out there who can't get women because women that are average think of themselves as 10s.
So if you think you're a 10, then do you think then that your standards for what you want or expect in a partner in terms of their physical attractiveness or other characteristics is unreasonable? For example, I don't consider myself a 10. I'd say I'm a 6 or 6.9. I'm not going to land any supermodels anytime soon.
How do you know?
Who knows?
But it's not like it's not an insecurity. It's just like I have a reasonable self-assessment of where I think I stand. And
like if
I'm not dating. I'm not
Out of
dating.
your league? Is that
What's
what you're
that?
talking about? When people are out of your league?
I mean, you could frame it as out of your league, sure.
Okay, but if somebody is out of your league, there are other ways to get them.
Sure.
Money is everything. So the most
10K.
ugliest person,
10K.
say the most ugliest person can get the most attractive woman, and we've all seen that.
Yes. So okay. So for men, there are definitely ways in which we can overcome, let's say, perhaps our deficiencies in our physical appearance, our physical attractiveness, money, status, personality, charisma. We can bring other things to the table, but looks is a pretty big, at least the initial component, especially since most people are meeting online, looks is a pretty primary component, especially for, I would say for maybe as you start, for both men and women, as you start getting a bit older, looks is still important, I would say, but you do start prioritizing some other things. But like, I think we have some 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. I would probably say looks is number one for younger people.
I've dated some pretty odd-looking people.
Okay.
I don't know, and I enjoyed the time that I spent. I mean,
Okay.
go off, y'all.
I also love that they have no problem rating themselves. Perfect 10s, you should always think of yourself as a 10. And other women, they'll say, oh, yeah, girl, you are a 10. But then when he always asks them, like, okay, but like, you can objectively say, like, when you're looking at two dudes, this dude is really, really attractive. This dude is, average. And they'll go, oh, yeah, no problem. So they have no problem making the judgment on men. But it's when it's women in the sisterhood. No, you're a perfect 10, slay queen.
Maybe that makes me a less number? That sounds silly.
Great. The new GoDaddy era.
I don't understand. You can pull anybody you want. Really make your life how you want it to be. I don't know why everybody has to build all these walls and make everything so difficult. I want that one. Okay. Go get it.
Okay, so I don't know where I was going with that. So you said that guys can make up for it in other ways, right? But what if he doesn't? That's when that guy is in trouble.
No. Everybody has one special quality. All around this room, like she said, she's a comedian. She's into beauty. Like everybody has that one particular like specialty or quality that they can like shine and just blow the room out of somebody. Like that is normal.
Ginny, what's yours? Okay. Moving on.
You put it on the spot. Yeah.
Well, I was coming back to our previous conversation about what you bring to what you bring to the table. Okay, so, but
Just say it.
so everyone's a 10. Did you say that everyone should be their own 10?
Yes.
But like, okay, if we take that to its logical conclusion, then how do you discern? Like, we can't discern anything, right? Can we all agree that some people are more attractive than other people?
Yes.
Like,
But everyone has
Timothy Chalamet is more attractive than Danny DeVito.
Maybe not
Well,
to everyone. For you.
That's what
Maybe not.
Why does
He's more physically attractive.
the scale stop at 10?
Good camera. Ran out of batteries. So, sorry if the quality for the rest of this video is shit. But I'll end it here soon. But I just get a kick out of these. Decided to do a reaction to it because it seems like men have no issue judging themselves kind of accurately, more humble. And women, for some reason, have this delusional rating where they always rate themselves perfect 10. And then they'll have the audacity to like, men are narcissists. Men have too big of egos. Like, kind of goes to show you, no, not so much. So I don't get what it is. Something in most females' brains that don't allow them. They act like saying you're a 5, which is average, which means most people are in that category. That means most people are going to be in that category. And they think you're calling them hideous if you're saying they're a 5. No, that's average. Most of you are average. And then he asked them if taking their makeup off would change their answer. And they said no. Are you kidding me? Like, don't get me wrong. I like a natural beauty who looks good without makeup. But the makeup definitely enhances. It's going to change it. Maybe not a ton, depending on the person, but it is going to make a difference. Like, they couldn't even say, well, yeah, then I'd be a 9. Not perfect. But, like, I don't know, man. That just rubs me the wrong way when they say they're a 10. Because that means you have no room for improvement. And maybe it's having been, like, into fitness because you're always looking to improve when you're into the fitness world. And it's not like ooh, I'm down on myself. I hate how I look. I hate myself. No, you could be like, I'm looking pretty good, but I need to work on the chest a little. Or man, my arms could use a little work. It's just like a realistic judgment, and it helps you set goals. If you think there's no room for improvement, you're done. Like, you're not going to work on yourself anymore. And you should always be working on yourself. But anyways, we'll end it there. I just thought these rating yourself segments are pretty funny because I just don't get why most of these women's brains can't they get broken by the rating scale of 1 to 10. Like, and then they think it's stupid and they don't understand the reason for it. If you're in the dating market, there's a big reason for it and it makes perfect sense. You need to know what kind of people you're on par with. You need to know your dating pool. But the fact that a lot of women don't goes to show you just why there are so many 30-plus-year-old women that are single wondering where their man is. Their standards are too high because they think they're literal perfection. And why there's a bunch of average, good, nice dudes who are single because they're either invisible to these women or these women just think they're completely out of their league. So some of these women need to take a little taste of humble pie, realize maybe I'm actually kind of average. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But there will be obese women on some of these panels. And they're rating themselves an 8 to a 10. Like, beauty is, different for everyone. But objectively speaking, there is like a beauty standard that we can all kind of judge people based on. It varies for everyone, but objectively, there is a standard that most people can say, okay, that's aesthetically pleasing to me. That's beautiful. And something's broken these people's minds. So we'll end her there. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more reaction type videos. I've been doing a couple of these recently. Been trying to do a little bit more on Rumble, but I'm still posting on YouTube and Rumble. It's just been easier with the little lesser segments, not as long form, to get more videos out, try to get in the algorithm, because obviously a lot of stuff that I talk about, especially YouTube, they ain't going to want me in the algorithm anyway. So, like, follow, subscribe, comment. What type of stuff would you like to see me talk about? Till next time, Trad West Podcast, out.